It has now been about 6 weeks, I'm in week 7 of switching from a true one-to-one coaching to the MOTTIV training app. So I think that is a sufficient amount of time to dive deeper into the app and to see if it's actually worth the money and if it's as good as they make it out to be. So let's do it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Luke. I'm your average age group, middle pack, amateur triathlete. I think that was about it. In today's video, I want to take a look at the MOTTIV training app. That was the app that I chose to move into after the one-to-one coaching, which ended after I did Oceanside 70.3, which if you want to know how that went, there's a link down in the description below to that video. But let's do a little recap of what the MOTTIV training platform actually is. And I made a video about setting up an account with MOTTIV a couple weeks ago, so if you want to watch that one first and sign up for MOTTIV, there's no affiliation whatsoever. There's also a link to that video down below that walks you through step by step how to get started with MOTTIV. Is it just MOTTIV? I think it's just MOTTIV. I think the login is called MOTTIV. I think it's just MOTTIV. The motive, yeah, MOTTIV. That's what we're going with. The MOTTIV training platform was founded by Taryn, or Triathlon Taryn. How many of you might know him from YouTube? And if you are in the triathlon space at all, I guarantee you heard of Triathlon Taryn. He is a very huge influencer, creator, social media advocate in the triathlon community. He's done a lot for it. He's been it for quite a while, and he decided to come up with his own training platform, which is called MOTTIV. The idea behind MOTTIV is to get a very personalized training plan for as cheap as doing it yourself. Or something like that is the slogan, but the idea is you get a personalized plan for as little money basically as possible. So you might be thinking, well, it's a program, it's an algorithm, how is that personalized? So let me walk you through really quick how MOTTIV came up with these training plans. And it's actually quite an interesting idea and approach from Taryn, I gotta say. So what Taryn did with MOTTIV was he went out and he hired very highly successful coaches to write absolute in-depth training plans for duathlon, for triathlon, Olympic sprint, Ironman, half Ironman distances, run races, and he took all these in-depth training plans and then created an app and an algorithm around it. So when you answer these questions, when you sign up to MOTTIV and you input all your information and your goals and where you're at baseline, with if you have FTPs or minutes per mile race paces, that algorithm then goes through all these training plans and picks the most important pieces that are beneficial for you and takes that and creates a training plan for you. By doing that, it is taking a maybe in theory generic plan and building it individually down to you. Well, it's taking from various different plans and putting a training plan together for you. What comes next is that the app connects through Garmin or through your health app with your watch. Well, in my case, it's a Garmin, so it's going through Garmin Connect, and it takes all the data from the workouts, and then based on that specifies your training plan down to the minute mile splits, down to the watts power that you have to hit in your bike workouts, and it truly is a personalized plan. But hold on, it still gets better.
But wait, there's more!
The MOTTIV training app is extremely affordable. So affordable, actually, that when I sign up, it costs $20 or $19.99 per month, or if you sign up for a yearly renewal, you get it down to about $14.99 per month. But hold on, if that wasn't cheap enough,
there's more!
Now Triathlon Taryn also made MOTTIV 100% for free in a limited way that still encourages you to go for the monthly subscription. You get some more add-ons out of it. But if you want to try it out, it's free. It's literally free. There's nothing to lose, and you still get a personalized training plan out of it. So that's pretty cool. That is the MOTTIV app. It does more than triathlon. You can do a run race, a swim race, or a duathlon in there. You decide what race you want to take. So let's dive right in. This is the MOTTIV app. I'm viewing this currently on the desktop. You can view it on your computer just through your browser, or of course it comes also as an app on the phone. This is the dashboard today. So every day it gives you a coach's message on the top. Again, there's no true coach behind it writing these messages. It's just, a couple of quotes or descriptions that are built into this. For example, for a strength session that was this morning, this is a video where you then follow along. What I like right off the bat is that it incorporates strength training. Strength training is huge for me, and while it's not the same amount of strength training and maybe bodybuilding style that I was used to before, it's still nice to see strength training incorporated in a workout program that is made for triathletes. Because, it is proven over and over and over again that strength training helps tremendously with injury prevention in endurance athletes and makes them better and faster athletes. So that's already a huge plus. Not all of the programs incorporate strength training to that extent. Does it incorporate the bench press, the ego lifts? No, it does not. Those I throw in myself whenever I feel like it. Other than that, it's pretty cool. So every day it gives you the workouts that you have to do, and once you complete the workouts, it gives you the zones, your heart rate and everything. It also gives you nutrition advice on how to nutritiously get through the workout. For example, today was a bike ride in the morning, which was actually extremely hard for me. Not extremely hard, but it was challenging. And you can see the intervals on the screen right here. 6 repeats, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 1 minute on, 1 minute off, 90 seconds on, 90 seconds off. We did the whole thing 6 times, 3 times, 2 times. And it recommended to eat 30 to 40 grams of carbohydrates before the workout. I have to say here, I am very bad about actually following these nutrition recommendations because I work out so goddamn early in the morning that I simply don't feel like eating anything. I have to yet try how these workouts go properly fueled. So what I did here was actually I did the bike right before I did the strength workouts. I did it back to back, which recommends 30 to 40 grams of carbs for one workout, 30 to 40 grams of carbs for the other workout, meaning 60 to 80. I had 0. Did it go well? Yeah, it went well. Could have gone better? Probably. So just a nice little touch, and it does that for every single workout. So let's move down the list. You have the motivator feed, which is basically like Facebook, but within the app. So if you have questions or if you just want to engage with the community, there is information in here. There is people posting. It is actually more active than I thought it would be. But there's quite a few people in here that are sharing their wins, that are sharing their struggles, that are, shout out to this Doc Gailey. Hopefully I didn't butcher that. He responds to literally every single post that people put out there. Impressive. And he has some really good insight. It seems like he's been doing that for a while. He helped me out with a lot of questions at the beginning. So people share their wins. See, there's the guy again and again. Look, right here as well.
Again and again and again and again.
It is amazing because if you want kind of like a community or accountability hub, so to speak, the motivator feed would be for you. Let's move down to the training plan, and this is where it becomes very interesting. What we have to keep in mind here is that, first of all, a triathlon training plan is nothing too exciting, right? How do you get better in basically any training plan is you do the same thing over and over and over again with progressive overload, and then you get better. You get bigger, you get stronger, you get faster. The same thing is done with triathlon or with, in general, endurance athletes and training plans as well. You do the same thing over and over, you gradually overload every single time, and then you become bigger, better, faster at the end. So, does it seem a little boring doing the same thing every single week? Yes, absolutely. Does it slightly switch up? Yes, it's slightly switched up. But at the end of the day, it's bike, swim, run, and it's always going to be the same. So if you're looking for a very exciting training plan that's new, that's something different every single time, you're probably in the wrong sport. So that ran out of the way. Looking at the training plan, what you see here is you can go back as far as you want. So I started this in April, actually, I believe. Yeah, April 10th, right there I started. And then I've been in it now for about 6 or so weeks. So you see that everything repeats itself. What is nice though is that I can go on here and I can drag and drop certain workouts where I want them, and I can do that on a bi-weekly basis. So what the algorithm does is it generates the workout for this week and for the next week already, and then after that it always adjusts. So we'll go to this in just a second. But if I'm on this week, say, oh, I just can't do the swim tomorrow, I could kick the swim out, but it would still keep it for the next few weeks, which is kind of nice. On the right side, you have your overall progress. So on average, a week, I would say this is one probably of the more average weeks. 9.5 hours, 7 hours is, but I skipped the long bike ride right here. 8 hours right here. So probably if you're looking at me to get, like, I really want to get in shape to this thing, you're probably looking at about 8 to 10 hours of training. And we're currently in the baseline focus, which you can see right here. Current training focus, baseline. So what the training does is you enter a race into your schedule, and then off of that, the algorithm will come up with a training plan. At the beginning, it's going to do a lot of baseline building. We need to get that aerobic machine going and make it as efficient as possible before we then go really into race specific, maybe speeds, and getting faster and faster, and then tapering at the end. So if we take a look at races, you will see the 2 races that I've entered in so far, and that is the Joshua Tree Half Marathon that I'm going to do November 4th, and then the 70.3 Indian Wells on December 3rd. So based off of that, my training plan was created. But here is where it gets really, really cool. This is where your data lives, in the zones. And what the app does is it takes all the data from your watch, so your heart rate for each workout. It has you do an FTP test and run specific tests as well to determine your speed and your heart rates. And based off that, it calculates your heart rate zones. It also calculates how fast you should be running, like what effort it should feel like, what watts you should be pushing, and what kind of heart rate zone. And this is something very, very cool. Very, very cool, I have to say. And I'm surprised that this is actually on par with what it feels like. This is the part that I had really been missing before. Yes, before I've trained in heart rate zones, but I didn't really train by watts, by power. So I've done all my rides the last year, probably around the 120 to 130 watts. Never singly went over it. Now I have specific workouts that ask to push 200 watts, 230 watts, 150 watts, and it is really, really great. Also, in addition, the zones and the run paces that it is associated with are actually very, very accurate, a lot more accurate than I personally expected it to be, especially for running being my weakness. And I made sure to lay my focus here on my running weakness. So I'm running actually 4 times a week, which for me is really a lot, but this is my biggest struggle. But what I found is that my zone 2, actually, it is at the upper end. I'm not right in this zone, but around the 10-15, 10-30 minute mile, that is where my zone 2 lays. And this program just does it based on the heart rate and speed, which is great. It just works really great. So you have an RPE, you have your heart rate zone, your beats per minute, you have your run paces and your watts that you should be pushing. So you have 3 data points that you can work on in every single workout. So what this does, going back here to the training plan, it takes completely out the guessing work of every single week. The program syncs to the Garmin. I wake up, I hit go on my Garmin, and it does the workout. It doesn't only show you the workout on your watch, it's actually programmed in. So if you have to do a bike ride that has 6 by 30 seconds interval like I had this morning, my watch was telling me every time it was time to go for one of those intervals. So I don't have to think about the workout at all. I literally just hit go. It tells me this is how fast you're gonna run, or swim, or bike. This is for how long, or this is the distance. Here are your intervals, and every time, like, I'm sure you're familiar with Garmin, right? You can set and program your own workouts, and it walks you through it. And this app does all of that. So all these workouts are built in Garmin already and then import it to your watch. It is absolutely phenomenal. There's no manual interaction you have to do between your Garmin app and the MOTTIV app. It talks so perfectly. That for me is a game changer. If we look at the schedule, we can then also just full on, I probably need to change that. I don't want my off season to start right when we need to change the off season to December. October is race season. Oh shoot, my training plan has been updated. But what is very great here is that at any point you can come back, you can go to your schedule. This is where you set your weekly schedule of activities. You can change the amount of hours you want to train. And I just have to say, the interconnection between the apps and the talking is absolutely amazingly streamlined and smooth. The app itself works really well. I had no hiccups with this app so far whatsoever. And the motivator feed, that community, is just a really great addition to ask questions, bounce ideas off if you are not sure about what wetsuit or whatever you want to wear, to throw those kind of things out there and just bounce them off other triathletes in the area. And then there's people sharing their races. So if you're looking for someone maybe in your community, in the general area to train with, or at the event to kind of look out for and say hi, this is the place to go. So that is really it. So this is really all I have about the MOTTIV app. In short, it is an absolutely amazing app. I can highly recommend it. For the price, and now absolutely being free, there is nothing you can go wrong with this app whatsoever. So give it a shot and give it a try. Let me know what you think. In my opinion, it is one of the best training plans I've done so far. It is very enjoyable, and you have to think about absolutely nothing. That is the great thing. There is some downsides, so let's go into those really quick, and I mentioned those before. The downside is it does not take your equipment into account that you might already have or not have, which the equipment they require for your strength training is very minimal. It's a mat, it's a block, and then it is some kettlebells. They do everything with kettlebells, but I actually do everything with a barbell. I don't have a single kettlebell. So there is workarounds you can do, but the app does not take this into consideration. Also, the lack of upper body strength training in this app is just something personally that I'm kind of lacking, kind of missing. While the little bit of upper body that is in this strength training program is really focused to enhance your triathlon speed in those disciplines, I wish it would go a little bit more into the upper body and not just hit lower body or core 3 times a week. But other than that, there's really no downsides. That's all I had. If you guys end up trying the app, at me on the app, let me know down in the comments below, and I hope you guys have an amazing day.